So far we've made simple web pages with headings, paragraphs, and images. We've even learned some basic styling like colors and borders. We haven't learned how to lay out our page yet, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I like mountains, so I've made a simple page about mountains. Now you should make your own page about what you like. So on my page I have what we've already learned. I have an H1 with mountains, and then I talked about 3 different mountains, and for each mountain I have an H2 with the name of the mountain, a paragraph about it, and then a couple of images. So I have a second mountain here and my third mountain here. Okay, so right now my page just sort of flows together. It doesn't look very organized. So to make it more professional, I'm going to add something called the div tag. So a div tag is a block element. So now what is a block element? Basically a block element takes up a block of space on the page. It's usually used for laying out your page. So a block element, all block elements, they take up a new line, and they also, by default, fill the width of the page, so there's nothing on either side of the page. Alright, so let's add some divs to my page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my heading, paragraph, and image for each of my mountains in a div. So add a div here. And I'm going to give it a class so I can style it later. So let's call it section. Right? So I'm going to take the information about Mount Whitney, put that in first div, like that. Make another div for my second mountain. Give that a section class as well. Take all information about Mount Hood. And I'm going to put that in my div. And finally, I'm going to make a div for my third mountain. Give that a section class as well. And I'm going to take everything about Mount Rainier and put that in my div, like so. Alright, so now let's take a look. Well, it actually looks exactly the same. It's because by default divs don't have any styling. We actually have to give it our own styling. So let's go to my style sheet. And because I gave a section class to each of my divs, I'm going to make a section selector. Okay. And let's give it a border. And you guys already know how to do borders. So let's do 1 pixel solid black. Pretty boring border. Okay. So let's take a look. Alright, so now you can kind of see the different mountain sections, but they kind of run together. You see the borders run together like that. So let's give it some spacing below each mountain. So I use something called a margin property. Okay, and a margin basically can give elements space around it. I'm going to type margin, and notice, so there's a margin property. There's also a margin bottom, left, right, and top. That's basically where you want the space to be. So I want it below each div. So I'm going to say margin bottom. You type a value. So I'm going to type 40 pixels. So now I have space below each of my mountain sections. That looks a little better. But you notice all the text kind of runs up to the border. So that doesn't look very good. So I'm going to add something called a padding. Now padding is similar to margin. It gives space, but padding gives space within your div. So let's do padding. And similar to margin, you can specify where you want the padding, bottom, left, right, top. Well, I want it on all 4 sides. So I can just say padding. And if you type one value, it will give that value to all sides. Whoops. To all sides of the div. So I do that. Now I have some nice breathing room. So that looks a lot better. And the difference between margin and padding is margin gives space basically outside of the border, and padding gives space within the border. So that's the key difference. Alright, finally I can give this a width. I don't want it to take the full width of the page. Let's just have it be 350 pixels wide. So if I do that, now I have my sections nicely laid out.